I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about why you must find your purpose. In life, I have found that the people that have gotten to a place where they're centered within themselves, they know who they are and they know what is important to them and that purpose in life, they are a lot more likely to stay attractive to their partners and have healthier relationships. Now, it seems, in my opinion, that this is even more so for men. That men who don't get up every day with a sense of purpose or something they're trying to accomplish or proud of, they don't feel good about themselves because men kind of identify themselves as a provider and having purpose, and they like to be doing something. They like to be working towards something. And so if you've got a guy who's not working, doesn't have a direction or even any ideas or ambition, they're often confused. They often feel insecure. They don't feel good enough. They don't feel like they can provide enough for their woman. And they don't feel a sense of accomplishment. That inner pride and confidence, it just kind of vanishes. And they often get depressed. Now, I'm not saying that not having a purpose is correlated with, the reason for depression. It's often that we have depression from traumas and attachment wounds in our childhood that have to get resolved. And when we do those things, that's why I say you have to do the work. When you start to heal those things, you kind of get to a better place where you do have direction, where you do have goals and ambition. And when you have those things, you're a lot more attractive. You see, I have found over the years that women generally don't care what the guy's purpose or ambition is, as long as it's important to him and meaningful to him. Because women always want to spend their time with their man, especially if it's a healthy, secure woman. She wants to spend time with him. Obviously, avoidants don't want as much time. But the healthier, secure people want a lot of time and connection. And when the guy has to do things like work or career or run a business, whatever it may be, she still wants that time with him. And she goes without. She has to sacrifice her time with this guy because he's got his ambition. So if she sees that he's truly caring about his purpose, she doesn't mind it, right? But it's when she sees that it's not really important to him and he's willing to sacrifice this time with her that she gets frustrated. Well, we could be having more time together and you don't want to spend time with me because you're doing this purpose. But if the purpose doesn't really feel authentic, then she feels kind of cheated, like you don't care about her as much. You see, so women love when a guy has a purpose and an ambition and he is genuinely, caring about it or authentically connected to it, and it makes a huge difference with attraction. And I saw a little of this in this email coaching today. That's why I wanted to talk about it. This is from a guy that met a woman in the springtime of last year. And he said, we started out with lightning in a bottle and everything was great. And when you really heal your attachment issues and you've got a partner that has done work on themselves, the lightning in the bottle can stay great. And this is really important for you guys to understand. When you don't do the work on yourself, the lightning in the bottle will not last. When you are centered and you're emotionally available, you are patient, kind, empathetic, you've worked through your own insecurities, the lightning in the bottle and that spark, that chemistry can stay great, even after many years. But it's all those insecure behaviors and issues that come up that push people away and make them want to get away and fighting and arguing and all those things that I talk about. That's why I say, do the work. Do the knowledge workbooks or the creative healing course, 30 minutes a day. Stay motivated. It will make a huge difference in your life with either your ex or someone else. So, this guy is in his late 20s and she's in her early 30s. It was a semi-long distance relationship of a few hour drive from her parents' farm that I helped her move into their rental across the street from the main farm. She was hesitant of being there from past trauma and wanted to move to a different state. Not long after, she started saying, "I love you." We were great together and talked any argument out. After a health scare with her getting a concussion in the late fall of last year, her mood and demeanor changed. I have to tell you guys, I've seen many issues with concussions over the years. In fact, right after I had gotten this email coaching, I had a caller like a week later that their partner had gotten a concussion and caused issues. So concussions can really cause issues with health, headaches, irritability, personality changes. So I know it's a rare thing to happen, but it does come up. It seemed her parents stepped up and showed her that they cared. She was less interested in moving out of state at my farm that I had been restoring the house for us to live. Winter was rough. I was broke from trying to do too much on the farm without getting into debt. I was depressed, and we both began smoking weed as a coping mechanism looking back. Okay, so the depression is likely throwing him off his purpose, so he's not feeling good inside, he's not feeling like himself, authentically attracting, and I'm sure it's going to throw off the dynamic of this connection and the strong attraction that they had. By spring, we had flown to California together for a job interview. I was on the fence about the move after a month or so. She began backing away from a lack of decisions. Okay, so again, his purpose is thrown off. He's not sure what he wants. And now, look at her. She's starting to get more uncertain. She sees he's uncertain, so she's probably thinking, well, I don't know if I want to make a major move. He doesn't even seem very sure about it. By late spring, she told me she wasn't romantically attracted to me. Well, I sensed depression. I sensed that he had lost his purpose. He wasn't really sure about things. And his indecisiveness about the move, all these things probably played a big part into what was going on. I gave her the breakup, and we talked, kissed, and hugged. And when I came to get my stuff, it was full of love and peace. I called her a weekend afterwards to tell her it'd be great to see her, and left it at that, to make sure she knew the ball was in her court on whether to see me again. It was the calmest breakup I've ever been through, mostly because I had faith she would return. She finally reached out at the end of August. I was so elated. Oh, this is a big mistake, guys. Don't let this be you. I was so elated that I lost focus on my calmness and feel that I lost any mystery and polarity that I had worked so hard to maintain during no contact. This happens all the time. Guys, I cannot tell you how important it is to stay emotionally centered when your ex reaches out. A lot of times, people don't listen to my instructions. They get anxious and they think that they know what they're doing. But guys, I have been doing this for a long time. I'm not going to tell you to do something that I wouldn't do. And I'm only going to tell you the things that I see are the most successful. And this is what causes a lot of people to mess up. When I give you instructions, stick to them. Okay? It's going to be a lot more likely to work than somebody that I've seen fail at something hundreds or thousands of times. Okay? There are certain things that work or are a lot more likely to work in different situations depending upon what's going on and all the variables. But you see, she reached out and he comes on strong, and then it kills the attraction. People start texting their ex for hours. They don't do what I tell them to do. They don't, like in a call or an email coaching, they don't stick to the plan. They do things that it feels like the right thing to do. Well, I'm telling you, the thing that feels right to do is often not the thing to do in breakups. Our brain is desperately trying to get us to reconnect. And so we have these fantasies of what we think is going to work. But also, oftentimes those fantasies don't work. Okay? So you got to be very careful when your ex reaches out. You cannot come on too strong. And if you haven't been doing the work, you're going to be a lot more likely to mess things up. I've attached our text messages from her reaching out, which I did review when I was doing the coaching. My question is, how bad did I mess this up? And is it salvageable? If so, what should be the strategy? I ended up moving back to California during no contact. I vaguely invited her out because I didn't know how to handle the distance on reconnecting. I did text her 30 days after the conversation. You see, he's already reaching out. 30 days later, we know who that culprit is. We know who's been spreading that terrible, terrible lie. Is it a lie? Ignorance? What should we call it? Foolishness? Just doesn't work like that. I did text her after 30 days after the conversation, in which she reached out, ended with a picture of a poster. She gave a one-word response, and I left it at that. I noticed she did start deleting pictures of us after I had told her I had moved. I love her and I miss her. Thank you, Craig, so much for being here to help. Well, I did review the emails and everything that happened there, and it wasn't terrible, but it did come across as a little bit too eager. Because he did kind of say it twice. And right now, I'd say that she doesn't have any interest. Now, I don't know if it's because he came on too strong, or it's just not there yet. But I think it's more important for you to show when she reaches out that you are centered, you feel good about where you've moved, and the decision you've made, that you're no longer indecisive, and that you're ambitious and you're excited about your move. That way, she would be a lot more likely to be excited about moving to where you're at. If you're not ambitious or excited about this move, why would she want to move out there? She's going to see, oh, he's not even excited to be there. Why would I be excited to be there? I think that you were struggling with depression, and I know that you were having debt issues, and the wintertime was getting hard on you. You were using the weed too much, probably, because you were so unhappy, and you just got thrown off of your purpose on what you were trying to do. Now, I could see her reaching out. There's no reason that she couldn't. You didn't mess up things terribly bad. But again, I would, reiterate her coming to visit you. And then you show her something exciting or exciting fun things to do in your area. Let her see that if she did consider getting back with you and doing the move, because ultimately in this situation it seems like she would have to move to be with you, that she'd be excited about it too. That she would be looking forward to it too. And that you are in a good place with yourself, that you know who you are, you know what you want, and that if she goes along for the ride, it's going to be a great ride. Not one where you're like humdrum or not sure or unmotivated, depressed, all those things. Find your purpose again. Maybe you have it with this new career or the career that you're in now, and maybe you're excited now that you've actually moved there, but you really want to give off like a positive feeling of it would be great to see you. If you want to come by, well, I have these fun things in my area we could do together. You can check it out, and then just focus on maybe a great long weekend together where you can re-spark the chemistry again. Okay? So, hopefully this has been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. I also have the knowledge workbooks or my creative healing course on the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.